When you think of ancient Rome, you might picture gladiators, emperors, and the Colosseum. But have you ever heard of Pompeii? This city was like a snapshot of daily life in Roman times. But instead of people, there are only ghosts left. This is because the entire population of Pompeii was killed and preserved under a blanket of ash after Mount Vesuvius erupted on August 24th, 79. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the ruins of Pompeii and uncover some of the most haunting artifacts from the human remains of Pompeii. Make sure to stick around for the full story. And if you'd like more stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. Pompeii was an ancient Roman city near modern Naples in Italy. It was a typical Roman town with streets, shops, homes, and even public baths. But one day, everything changed. Nearby Mount Vesuvius blew its top and showered Pompeii and the surrounding area with ash. It was an incredibly hot summer day, and people were outside working or relaxing when the eruption occurred. They had no warning and nowhere to run. Most people died from breathing in the ash or were burned alive when their homes caught fire. The eruption also created a massive cloud of gas and pumice that blotted out the sun. Everything was plunged into darkness. It was as if the world itself was ending. People ran through the streets not knowing where to go. Some threw themselves to the ground in the hopes of escaping the falling pumice. Others tried to hide in caves or under bridges, but there was no escape. The ash covered the entire city in a thick blanket, burying it under a layer of debris. At the time, Pompeii was home to about 11,000 people. And according to historical records, only 2 people survived the disaster. Everyone else was either killed or trapped under the ash. But here's where things get really creepy. Over the years, archaeologists have uncovered many of these remains. They found skeletons of people who were trying to flee the city, as well as plaster casts of entire families who were wiped out by the disaster. These remains give us a haunting glimpse into the final moments of the people of Pompeii. They allow us to connect with the victims of this tragedy on a human level and remember those who were lost. One of the most well-known artifacts from Pompeii is a series of plaster casts that were made of the victims of the eruption. These casts were created by pouring plaster into the voids left by bodies that had decomposed over time. When the bodies decomposed, they left behind an imprint in the ash, and the plaster would fill in the shape. Once the plaster hardened, it created a life-size replica of the person who had been buried there. Some of these casts have been so detailed that they've even preserved the facial expressions of the people of Pompeii. These artifacts have helped us learn more about the people who lived in Pompeii and how they died. For example, one cast shows a man who was standing in his doorway when the ash began to fall. Another shows a woman who was crouching on the ground with her hands covering her face. These casts are not just creepy, they're also a reminder of the fragility of human life. They show us that even in the midst of a natural disaster, people still try to find safety and comfort. In addition to the plaster casts, archaeologists have also uncovered skeletons of people who were killed by the eruption. These skeletons provide valuable information about the physical toll that the eruption took on the people of Pompeii. For example, some skeletons have been found with injuries that suggest they were trying to flee the city when the ash began to fall. Others have injuries that suggest they were trying to protect themselves from the falling debris. So what does the future hold for the remains of Pompeii? Well, it's likely that more artifacts will be discovered in the years to come. As more of the city is excavated, we can expect to learn more about the people who lived there and how they died. It's possible that we'll even find entire rooms filled with artifacts that will give us a unique glimpse into life in Pompeii. If you enjoyed this creepy story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me bring you more terrifying history every week. Let's grow together and uncover the darkest secrets of the past.